Evening, everybody. It's been a while. Been away doing odds, bits and pieces. Andy all here, but I'm back. I'm back on this Wednesday night with a wonderful chat show tonight. In just a moment, I'll be joined about 7:30. I'll be joined by Paul Bryce, who is a wonderful guy, wonderful advocate for autism and disability. But first, we're going to be chatting to Lee Donald, who I'm going to bring on right now. Hello, Laura Herbert as well. Thank you for joining us. I've had a few technical difficulties. Sorry, Lee. So I was just setting up my light and that. I've got so many different pieces of tech that I've got it all sorted. So here we go. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Hello, Graham. How are you doing? Let's go to there.
Yeah.
Hello.
Right, it's working. Let me adjust my my screen. That was my biggest challenge, was just being able to get on here. So
wait a minute. Let's have I'll just adjust my volume. That's better.
You hear me okay?
There. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Awesome. I'm glad I'm not the only one that has technical difficulties.
Oh, honestly, I do a lot of these, and I've got loads of different pieces of tech, like the red, the white ring things, and I've got like special holders and stuff.
I've got one of them as well.
But none of them are working. I've dug them all out. I haven't done one for that long. I've dug them all out and gone, what's going on? Where's the lead? Why isn't it working? So it's like,
Well, I can hear you and I can see you, so we're all good.
Well, Wendy is watching as well downstairs.
Hi, Wendy.
She's watching, keeping the little one entertained. Yeah, that's just a handful. Mark, John, Alana, if you see anybody that you know, give
hey Alana, hey Laura, these are some of my guys jumping on.
Megan,
hey Megan,
Megan, hello.
Cool.
I'm having it's a bit of an hour tonight. I've just started. Hi, John. Hi, Mark. He's an actor, Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
I do a lot of these, and I had a bit of a break from doing them. But this one's my first one back. And I've got at 7:30. I've got Paul Bryce on, who was a guy who I met at a charity event. Him and his husband have autistic boys, and they're the big advocates for autism and disability. And they're TV personalities as well, and they've done a lot for that sort of thing. So they're going to be joining us later as well. So basically, I thought it would be interesting to talk to you because, well, you've had an interesting journey to say the least. But let's start off with Adventures with Paula. Is that somebody that you know?
Adventures with Paula. Yes, actually it is. Hi, Paula.
Hello, Adventures with Paula. My name's Andy Paul. Hello. I'm married to one of Lee's old friends. So up there in Aberdeen, then.
What's that?
What's it like in Aberdeen then? Is it all right up there at the moment?
Varied. We've got a bit of sunshine, bit of rain. We had a good bit of summer, then it's kind of gone a bit all over the place. But yeah, to be fair, we're getting spoiled, really, aren't we? So can't complain.
We've had loads of rain down here.
So, where are you guys? Where are you guys again?
We're on the northeast coast, so the easiest way to explain it is we're about 9 miles from Durham inland, next to the coast.
Okay.
So you come up the northeast coast. If you've got the train down from Edinburgh, say, you go down the east coast line. We're on the east coast, so we're right on the sea. Our seafront takes about a quarter of an hour to get to the sea from here.
Yeah, same. Awesome.
Can and 26.
Yes. Hello, Claire. Yes, I believe that is Claire.
Are these some of your clients and friends?
Yeah, do you know what? Some of my team, some of the people that I train, a couple of classes and personal training, etc. So I put the word out there that I was going live. Sometimes it's hard to tell from people's Instagram name. Like a little picture, but yeah, these are my guys coming to join, which is awesome.
I want to take you right back to, we're going to focus on the fitness journey.
Okay.
I think tonight.
Yeah.
We'll focus on the fitness journey and obviously the expedition that you've got coming up.
Sure.
So I want to take you back to when you first became interested in fitness, and obviously, obviously you've got to go through qualifications. I've been through them myself, and they're not easy and they take a while.
Yeah.
How did you first become involved with,
And becoming a personal
have you
trainer.
always
Yeah.
trained all your life? You always kept fit, and then you just thought, well, I'll make this a profession?
Yeah. Do you know what? I have always been active. I was always actually playing football in the boys' playground at school. When I was, I think, about 9 or 10, I watched The Karate Kid, and that was it for me. Just wanted a black belt, and by age 13, I'd had 2 double gradings, a triple grading, and became the youngest person in Scotland to actually do that and get my black belt by age 13. Played hockey when I was at school. Did all the sports when I was at school. Just yeah, loved it. And then my jobs kind of involved me being active. I was a sailing instructor in the south of France. I was a adventurous activity care worker with kids in care, taking them on, mountain weekends and doing adventurous sports with them. So I'd always kind of had this passion for kind of teaching and being active. And it was actually my granny, bless her soul, that when I said I don't really know what I want to do with my life, she'd cut out of the newspaper, as grandparents do. It was like, oh, look, we thought that you might like this. And it was about becoming a personal trainer. I'm like, oh, what's a personal trainer? What do they do?
Yeah.
So I explored it, investigated it a bit further, and before I knew it, I was down in Glasgow on a 6-week intensive, and it was very intensive,
Yeah.
personal trainer course. And yeah, that's how it all began. Absolutely loved it. I actually still smoked and wasn't particularly healthy, even though I was always active. Yeah, I wasn't always the healthiest, so that was a great way to stop smoking as well, because yeah, I just didn't mix.
No. Well, you know what? I know what that's like, a 6-week intensive course, because
Yeah,
I did the same for level
I did.
2
Yeah,
and 3,
yeah,
and it's 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 pretty intense. I mean, it's like all day, every day, and
yeah. Even the
you've
weekends as well. My
yeah,
mom came down to see me the first weekend, and I was like, no, yeah, I just need to study. Yeah, it was
yeah.
crazy, but yeah, it was good to get it done in a short amount of time as well, which gave me the basics to know what I needed to know, and then obviously just with experience, I'm now. Well, that was 2011.
Mm-hmm.
2020, that's 12 years. Yeah,
I mean, it has.
of learning.
I know. I mean, I was the same. I would say mine was about 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
But it's. Do you think it's changed since then? Personal trainer. How do you work it? You don't work in a gym, do you? Work from your.
No, so I've never been a fan of gyms, like love fitness, never been a fan of gyms. So I started, when I first started training, I had no clients, no money, no equipment, no nothing. So bless my mum, let me train from her living room. So, and I went to people's houses, and that's kind of how I started.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
as I grew in the first 3 years, I bought a house and built a fitness cabin on the property, and that is where I train from now. Do a lot of online stuff, do a couple of classes in the community, things like that. But yes, I don't know whether the qualification has changed, but certainly everything about it has changed. I mean, there's personal trainers everywhere for a
yeah,
start.
yeah,
Because there wasn't, I mean, you advertised on Gumtree, there was maybe 3 trainers there, that was it. And now there's like millions on social media, every kind of outlet.
yeah.
It's quite intense now.
I'm the same. I'm the same. It's like every industry. It's like what I do is, when I started off as like doing showbiz presenting and red carpet, you'd go to a premiere and there's maybe 10 of you, maybe, and that included BBC One and Sky and everybody.
Yeah.
Now, everybody's a showbiz presenter. Everybody,
Yeah.
everybody's a presenter,
Yeah.
entertainment presenter, showbiz presenter. And it's like, some of them haven't even barely done anything, but they're a showbiz presenter,
Yeah.
and it's like, that is the same in that industry as well. It's exactly the same. I only left PT because I went back into TV, and it was
Okay.
something that I wanted to do, and I got a bit fed up with it, really, because the clients I
Yeah.
had, some of them were good, but some of them didn't turn up if they weren't feeling a bit tired, and
Yeah.
you know what's like. You're like, well, I don't wake up in the morning and not go to the gym because I'm tired. Actually, the only way I don't go to the gym is if I'm very unwell or I don't train.
I know
If
the
it's
feeling. I know the feeling.
feeling,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's hard to put that mentality into somebody who hasn't hasn't got it. I just, I just
Yeah, and it's just
kind of
about,
not pulling
yeah,
into it.
yeah,
Not they're not
supporting
focused.
them.
I had a lot of people who weren't focused enough on their journey, on their fitness journey. But yeah, it has changed. It has definitely changed a lot. Kaz Surrey, hello, Kaz Surrey. She joins me a lot on my chats now. I
Okay.
get a lot of people joining me in and out. So, I mean, your personal trainer now, the epitome of training, the epitome of a challenge is like what you're going to do and what you have done.
Yeah.
So talk us through that a little bit. I mean, you've done certain mountains. You've been in Italy and all over the place doing these treks and things. And tell us a little bit about that and how it led up to obviously this Everest expedition.
Um, well, actually, as of February this year, I was a complete newbie to
Mm-hmm.
mountaineering. I've always been fascinated by Everest all through growing up. I was very lucky, got taken away quite a lot with my mum and my sister on ski holidays, saw lots of different mountain ranges, was just loved the snow, loved the mountains, and it's always been a passion for me. And Everest is obviously the
Mm-hmm.
mountain, and always wanted to climb it. And as it transpired, way things were in my life, it kind of came to the decision of it was now or never. And being 41, which isn't, I don't just think is that old. However, in Everest years, your chance of success goes down
Yeah,
as you turn 40 and older. So it was now or never. So I chose now, and it's just been this process of figuring out, right, well, if I want to do this and I want to summit Everest, what do I then need to do to get the experience and qualify me to do that? So yeah, long story short, I went a skills course in February, which was 5 days over on the West Coast. Put on crampons for the first time, which for those who don't know, they're kind of like spiky things for your feet to help you walk on ice and snow. Held an ice axe for the first time, used poles for the first time, like I had it's kind of crazy when I speak about it now. But yeah, we started on the Monday, and by the Wednesday, we were summiting the highest mountain in the UK, which is Ben Nevis via the CM direct route, which is a very technical route, especially depending on what conditions you get it in. So that was very much an eye opener, a very scary eye opener, but yeah, buzzing for it at the same time. So once I did that, I'm not long back actually from Chamonix, where I was summiting Gran Paradiso, which is the highest peak in Italy,
yeah, yeah,
and Mont Blanc, which is the highest peak in Western Europe. And I did them both in 4 days, which on top of each other are the height of Everest, without obviously the 8,000 meter altitude. But I mean, they were my first taste of altitude. It's quite a crazy thing.
yeah.
So Gran Paradiso is just over 13,000 feet, and Mont Blanc is what I've got it here, so don't forget 15,780 feet without oxygen. So, yeah, you're talking about a fair old height with, heavy backpack on, climbing up, doing Gran Paradiso we were told, is the warm up for Mont Blanc. And I was like, okay, so, day one, we hike up to this hut and then you stay the night, which is like bunk beds. It's really weird, these mountain huts. You go in, and the first thing you need to do is pick a pair of Crocs. You're not allowed to wear your boots. So they've got all these multicolored Crocs, which people have put back, different sizes, whatever. So you
Yeah.
find a pair of them. And yeah, stayed the night, which is like bunk beds, which again is a bit strange. Hadn't done that since I was a kid. And then at 4 a.m. we got up and we headed to the summit. And while there was not crazy technical climbing, it was just it endurance wise and altitude wise, it was quite a lot. And then you get to the summit, there's this Lady Maradona and a little small base that you've got to climb over this very narrow rock face too. But what an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
It really was. And then once you do that, the summit, you hike all the way back down, not only to the hut that you stayed at, but all the way back down. And then we drove back from Italy to Chamonix all in the same day. So yeah, it was quite hard work. And they're like, that's the warm up. And I was like, oh, that is the hardest thing I had at that
You've
point
had done.
ever done. Yeah, and I made a big mistake by packing quite heavy. So my backpack was at least 15 kilos. And yeah, when I felt my my guide's backpack, I was like, I am doing something wrong here.
Yeah, I bet.
Um, so we were meant to have a full-on rest day, but they're like, oh, sorry, there's a weather window. We're going to need to go straight up Mont Blanc. So we went straight up. It was almost 7 hours to what you call the Goethe Hut, which is
Mhm.
about 3,800 odd feet. Which was hard work in itself. And just before you get to that, so at that altitude, there's some very technical climbing, more technical than I've ever done in my life. So I was on a rope. I had my guide maybe 3 meters in front of me. I had my hiking buddy, Steve, 3 meters behind me. And you're scaling with an axe, you know, in your back, your crampons on. It was like full on rock climbing,
Wow.
but with crampons. There was ice, there was snow, there was rock. You had to go in tandem so that you were keeping in line with the person in front and the person behind. So I think I had the hardest part in the middle, actually. I'm claiming that. But yeah, got into this scooter hut. Again, choose your multicolored Crocs. And as soon as I went to go upstairs, it just hits you like a ton of bricks. Like it's like being drunk without drinking, and that shortness of breath. It feels like you have sprinted those stairs as
Yeah.
opposed to walk.
Yeah.
And it takes a little time to acclimatize. So we'd got there by 4 or 5 in the evening. Dinner was 6:30, 7, and that finished maybe about 8. And then we were leaving at 1 in the morning, 1, 2 in the morning for the summit. So there wasn't lots of time, but once I had calmed myself down, not freaked out, it was a bit better, but didn't sleep that night, couldn't sleep. Very uncomfortable, I think is the word to say. And again, you're in bunk beds. So I had a guy this way and that way. There was people over there. There was people over that side, someone above. Like it's really bizarre. And someone was snoring as well, but
Oh,
I
isn't
mean, I
that
didn't sleep
worse?
anyway. Um, so yeah, and then we headed off at I think it was about 1:30 or 2, I can't remember, in the morning. But I wanted to pack light for Mont Blanc instead of having this heavy backpack. However, I made a real rookie error and forgot to pack my windproof, my shell, my waterproof, and my heart just sunk. I was like, oh God. And so my guide was like, well, you're just going to have to wear your hat and you'll have to wear your jacket. You're like a duck down jacket. So I was like, oh, okay. But then I'd remembered I'd gone and unzipped the hood off that. So all I had was this jacket and hat, no protection for my neck, my face here. And we went out and I was like, it just hit us side on, this snow, this horizontal snow, pitch black. It was so sore in my face. I couldn't see. Again, we were on a line. I was last on the line at this point, so I had to just keep the tension on there, put my hands over my face and hope I was walking straight because it hurt so bad. But luckily it calmed down a little bit. Um, and it got a bit better. But then the downside of having this jacket on, it's a duck down jacket. I was absolutely boiling.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I did not make it easy for myself. Nobody summits Mont Blanc with a hat and a down jacket on. That's just not what you do, but I did. So yeah, had moments going up there of this is awful. Like, I'm so tired. One foot in front of the other. It took everything in me mentally to get up that mountain. But then I had times of like, okay, I'm finding my groove. I'm here. I'm doing it. There was a whole array of emotions. And then once we got to the summit, it's just this overcome feeling of emotions, which I wasn't expecting actually. And it was beautiful. We cracked it. It's called the rooftop of the Alps. And yeah, it's a sight I will never forget. Even though I was freezing by that point because I'd got hot, cold, and my sweat had dried. Got some epic pictures, epic videos, and yeah, it was such a sense of achievement. And actually, by that point, I wasn't bothered by the altitude. Like, I was absolutely fine. And then obviously we had to descend back down. So we not only descended back down to that Gutter hut that we stayed the night before, we had to go back down that 7+ hours all the way back to Chamonix. And again, like the endurance was just, I don't know how I got through it, but I did. It was just next level. But I love it. I love challenging myself.
It
This
sounds
might sound awful to
that
some
way, yeah.
people.
Just a bit.
You did what? Um, and there was parts of it we actually took a bag in our backpacks, and yeah, we slid down some of the lower parts of the hill that were all slushy, so we were sliding down waving our axe in the air. Yeah, it was good fun, but yeah, it was an experience and a half, and that was only a few weeks ago, maybe a few weeks ago, a month ago. So back in training now, and I've got a marathon on the menu at the end of August, something which I had said I would never do.
Did you
But
say
here we are.
when you saying different days from us eating Sultana bran flakes in your
Brown
mum's?
flakes in your mom's kitchen. Slightly, slightly. Yeah. Um, Good memories of both. But yeah, there's the training is pretty intense. Like I said, I got a marathon at the end of August, and only 2 weeks later, I am headed out to Ecuador, South America, to summit three 6,000 meter active volcanoes. So, in fact, one of them is erupting, so they're having to use a substitute volcano. But it's all safe. It's all
Is
safe.
this
But
is that more is that to get you
yeah,
acclimatized to high heights?
yes,
Is it?
the prime focus of this is altitude. I've now got a taster of how my body responds at altitude. But bear in mind, Mont Blanc was 15,780 feet. I will be hitting 20,547 feet, so over 6,000 meters, which is a big jump.
Mhm.
Every 1,000 meter at altitude really affects your body. So I, hand on heart, I'm nervous for it. Yeah, I am. Bit scared because yeah, altitude's just not really a nice feeling. But once you're acclimatized, it's fine. So yeah, I am now hopeful that I will be okay. But yeah, it affects everyone different. It affect you different, affect the next person
Yeah.
different. It doesn't matter where you're fit, how old you are.
No.
It really is luck of the draw.
It's the
But yeah, I've
unknown,
never
isn't
been to
it? It's the
Ecuador before.
unknown. You don't know, do you? It's the
No,
unknown.
you don't,
Probably
you
frightening.
know. And just because I was okay and I had a bit of a headache, felt a bit woozy and stuff, but I came right at Mont Blanc, Grand Paradiso. But I mean, you just don't know another 1,000 feet, another 1,000 feet, how it's going to affect you. But doing this without oxygen, and one of the one of the issues that I have is that I suffer from some breathing issues. It's bronchoconstriction when I challenge myself, which basically means when I push myself and I do exercise, my air tubes close up. They get inflamed and they close up. So I'm on tablets and inhalers to help decrease
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
inflammation. It gets triggered by cold and heat. So yeah, it's an extra challenge, but again, managed to control my breathing, going steady, slow, taking my inhalers. So yeah, I'm hopeful that that will not be as big a challenge as I first anticipated. Hopefully.
Do you
Um,
is it when you're scaling the mountain? I've often wondered, is there a wall, mental wall, like they say about marathons, where your body just goes, oh, this is not happening. My mind's just not no stop. Is it?
um, Yeah, I can see, yeah, body wise, yeah. I mean, but mind wise, no. Like, I have an absolute relentless drive to succeed, and I will drag myself through anything to achieve my goal. And my thought of through all this training, well, if I can't summit Mont Blanc, I can't do Everest. If I can't run a marathon, I can't do Everest. And
Mm-hmm.
that goal is so important to me in summiting Everest, because it's not just about mountains. This is my journey from rock bottom to the top of the world. I've got a bit of a backstory, so it's so important that I will, yeah, do anything I need to do to get there. And I think it's what you tell yourself while you are pushing yourself that makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Filling that brain with positive thoughts, thinking of your whys, why you're doing it. Sorry, my cat's just come to
That's
join us
all
and
right.
distracted
My
me.
4-year-old's not come up yet.
Um,
So all right.
but yeah, it's not just Everest, but the training is very much mental as much as it is physical.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Yeah, you can be fit as a fiddle, but if you haven't got it up there, the mental
No,
strength up
no,
there,
it's not going to
you're
happen.
not going to do it. You know. I've also got a fear of heights as well, which I've really
That's
had to push
that's
to the max.
you've
I
got
just climbed the
everything
highest
going there,
mountain in
haven't
the
you?
world. I
Wow.
like a challenge. What can
Yeah.
I say? I like
Every
a
ball
challenge.
that's in front of you, you've got really, haven't you? So So you've got, obviously your training's going well at the minute. And
Yeah.
when do you go? When is the expedition planned for?
So I will be flying out on the 31st of March next year. So by this time next year, I will have done it,
Right, so
hopefully.
yeah, so
Um,
you've got a fair bit of time to get yourself ready.
so yeah, and for people who aren't familiar with it, so I'll basically go out 31st, 1st of April. It's a 60-day trek. It's a 60-day expedition. So it takes that long to acclimatize. So your trekking is going to be about 9, 10 days till you get to base camp, which in itself is over 5,000 meters. So you're going to experience altitude there anyway. And then you spend time there going between camps 1, 2, and 3 back down to base camp to try and acclimatize. But each time you've got to go through something called the Kumbu Icefall, which is one of the most dangerous parts of the mountain. But unfortunately, it's the gateway to Everest. And it's just big crevasses, ice as big as buildings that can move at any point. You have to climb up little ladders over the crevasses with crampons on your feet, backpacks. Am I selling it to you yet?
No, I'll let you do it. I
Um,
think I'm gonna let you do it.
yeah. So
It
yeah,
would
you go up and down acclimatizing, and then you have your summit push where you hit that summit and then hopefully come down safely. And that's the important thing
yeah,
because that's where the most fatalities and things
yeah,
happen is
yeah,
actually on the descent. People are so tired, they're exhausted, they have this sense of achievement, they get a little complacent. So I will not be celebrating until my feet are touching down
yeah.
in Aberdeen again, to be honest.
And
Um,
you're going to be the first lady in Aberdeen, only the seventh lady from Scotland as a whole
yeah,
to do it in history.
yeah, and I believe so. It's very hard to find stats, particularly specific stats, but from what
Hmm.
I can find, the research I've done, yes, that is correct. So it's a nice little added bonus to what, I wasn't doing it for that.
Hmm.
But yeah, absolutely. Like it's an awesome bonus putting out, Aberdeen and making Scottish mountaineering history is just, yeah, amazing.
Alana says, if
Um,
anyone can do it, you can.
Bless you, Alana. Love the
I want
positive
to just
encouragement. Yeah, my team always have my back.
quickly focus just before we leave. It goes quick, mind these.
Yeah,
Honestly, half an hour goes like you feel like you've been
yeah.
talking 5 minutes on things. It really does go quick. I wanted to talk about obviously why you're doing it, but there's also another aspect about raising money. And you obviously
Yes.
you've
So
worked with a lot of charities over the years. So what is the aspect of that involved with the raising of the money for this?
So I'm raising money for Friends of Anchor, which is the Northeast Cancer and Hematology charity department. The reason why I've chosen that is because my grandpa, who passed away, he was in the Anchor unit when he did pass. They were absolutely amazing in there. All the family were there, and yeah, he was in there for a few days. So it's my way of giving back to say thank you. And my grandpa would be, yeah, he loves, climbing mountains as well. I know he would be smiling down right now. So
Right.
yeah, it means a lot to me. And I know everyone has known someone that has been touched by cancer. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, yes, yeah. Unfortunately, yes. Even more so these days, it's
Mm.
scary. Well, we wish you good luck and
Thank you.
keep in
Thank
touch.
you.
You'll have to do one of these with Wendy, just
Well, I was
not with
going to
everybody, obviously,
say,
but
yeah,
just the two of you.
yeah, yeah. And I really appreciate the opportunity to share my story and put it out there. It's been good speaking to you. And yeah,
Well,
thank you.
best of luck. I'm
Thanks.
hopefully going to be joined by Paul. Sometimes I set these things up, and yeah, people forget, or they just don't turn up or whatever. So we'll wait and see if he. But I'm doing another one next week with Vincent Simone. I don't know if you're a big
Okay.
dancing fan or Strictly Come Dancing. He was on
All
Strictly.
right. Yeah, my mum will know
Yeah,
him. My mum loves Strictly Come Dancing.
yeah.
Yeah.
He left in 2012, but he's still going touring in his show. So I'm doing his Q&A for him about he's doing two shows, um, dancing shows that are going to tour around the UK and that. So and that's next Tuesday. Good luck with Everest, Graham Monk says.
Oh, thank you, Graham. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So good night and best of luck. Well, we'll keep in
Thank you.
contact. We'll find out when you'll be telling me all about it.
Cheers, Andy. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Good night.
Speak to you later. Bye.
So, wow, that's a story and a half, isn't it? from Lee Donald there up in Aberdeen. Next March she's going to be going up Everest. Wow. So I'm going to wait a few moments because it is 7:30. Hopefully I'm going to be joined by Paul Apple Bryce. If he hasn't forgot, he's a busy lad. He's got a lot on. They've got 4 kids between them, I think, him and his husband. So they are very, very busy all the time. So I wouldn't put it past them to just have forgotten or maybe not have the time. Megan's vision, very inspiring. It is, isn't it? Very, very inspiring. I mean, I don't think we realise how much goes into these. You know, you think, you're going up Everest, but there's a lot more to it than that, isn't there? There's a lot of preparation, years and years of preparation, mentally and physically. So that's the wonderful Lee Donald. So if Paul Atwell Bryce is hopefully Paul's going to join us very, very shortly. I did say 7:30, and it's after 7:30, so we'll wait another minute or two. If not, I'll be back next Tuesday. You've just heard me. I'll be back next Tuesday. Here's the announcement. Next Tuesday night at 7:00 with Vincent Simone. Vincent Simone, who was one of the professional dancers on Strictly Come Dancing, and him with Ian Waite, one of the other ex-professionals of Strictly Come Dancing, are going on tour. He's got 2 shows going on tour, actually, Vincent, and he's got one with a tango one, and I think he's got one with Ian Waite as well, which is separate. A little bit like what Anton de Beck and Giovanni are doing at the minute. So I'll be chatting to him next Tuesday night at 7:00. So if you're a fan of Strictly or you love Strictly, you'll know who Vincent is. You'll know his face if you see him. He's a great guy. We're going to be chatting about his tour, about what you can expect from the tour, and hopefully we'll get a lot of people popping in to say hi as well. So I'm going to pop off for a bit and see if Paul's about. And then I'll be back with him. If not, good night, God bless, and I'll see you next Tuesday.